In the beginning, there were illustrations, lots of them. Sarah's uncle was one of the greatest illustrators of birds in Australia. He amassed hundreds of illustrations of birds all around the country, and fortunately, years later, a book publisher turned them into a book, which has been successful for decades.
My name is Sarah. I've inherited an artwork from my uncle called Birds of Australia. My uncle signed a publishing agreement for this artwork decades ago. I've recently been contacted by a web and app developer who wants to develop these publications.
My name's David and I'm a publisher. Many years ago we published Sarah's uncle's collection of bird illustrations. And in the changing world of publishing now, we need to look at new avenues, so we're interested in developing a website and an app for this work. It's a complex task and I need to speak to a variety of people to work out how I'll go about doing this.
And now, in the era of websites and apps, the book publisher has thought about the possibility of bringing this great bird book into the world of digital media.
Hi, my name is Chris and I'm the web developer. I've been approached by a publishing company to turn a book of Australian birds into a website and a mobile application. I'm really excited about this project because we've not worked on something of this size and scale before. We're going to be producing for iOS devices, tablets, phones. I am a little bit concerned at this stage. They have approached me and asked if I would like to invest in the company itself and take a share, and I'll have to see how that works.
I've been receiving the royalties from the publisher, and I want to see what kind of agreement I can come to with the web and app developer and the publisher.
Good morning, Sarah. Thanks for coming in today after our call the other day. The reason I wanted to talk, as you know, was just to run an idea by you that we've had a concept that we'd like to develop around your uncle's fantastic bird book.
Sure.
As you know, it's been a bestseller for decades, and the royalties continue to come in, the sales continue as strong as they ever did. And what we'd like to do is change this for the new generation of users in the digital world, because as a publisher we can't just stay with print media, we have to diversify. We'd like to develop the concept of a website and an application for the book that uses all the original images, which are what's made the book famous, and then go further down into what all the digital media can offer. So whether that's interactivity of videos of the birds, the bird calls, maybe the opportunity to record the bird calls in the wild, and then track birds, and who knows, we might be able to then send off that information, that data, to scientific research, so it helps to preserve some of these species in the long term, which I'm sure your uncle would have loved to know would be happening with his book so far down the track.
Yeah, well, that's a great explanation of the concept for me, but what makes it so relevant for me to go to you as opposed to some other publisher who can give me a better deal on it? I mean, at the moment, I think the contract is, I just had a quick look over it, and it said that there's a 10% clause for new media or something for royalties. So I think that, you know, I would like to negotiate that in terms of whether that's actually relevant to this agreement.
No, that's reasonable, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the subsidiary rights clause in these old publishing contracts like this, it's in publishing, it's generally taken to mean the electronic rights, but of course there may be necessity to look at terms and how this works out, because ultimately we want to make a great product that works along with this book.
And are you thinking of offering me the royalties as I've been getting before, or are you going to offer me a greater role in the project? Book
sales will continue to come in. There's no cannibalisation of hard copy sales from web apps. There's no evidence of that in any publishing. So yeah, we would be able to talk about that and to see whether a royalty is the way to go, or whether you'd like to take a greater role, so a partner, a joint venture, something like that. So what we'd like is, at the moment, just the opportunity to have some time, some secure time where we can research this. So we just have an option for 3 months. We can go and find out, A, what the costs are, what's technically possible for the app, and then come back and talk about revenues and splits or royalties and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's very important for me when I'm thinking about this that the integrity of my uncle's legacy is kept intact. I'm quite happy to consider this option, and maybe that option agreement for 3 months would be a good way to go. And then at the end of that we can see where we go in terms of forging a new agreement or something between us.
Yeah. Well, look, if that's the case, we'll put together an option and send it over to you to have a look at, and we'll proceed from there.
Okay.
Fantastic.